Welcome to another entertainment segment of Impact. I am your host, John Russell Cring, independent filmmaker, and we're going country today. We're going country. We're going to kick off our shoes and get into the barefoot hay and get some cow muck on us or something like that. And I want to point something out. For you people out there, and I know who you are, you're thinking, oh, he's wearing the cowboy hat because he's got a country artist on. Oh, no, people. I was country before country was cool, okay? As the song used to say. I know who Jerry Reed was, aside from Smokey and the Bandit. I can name several Chris Christopherson songs that you've never heard of. So cut your lip, okay? I have some country in my soul, and with that soul, I want to share that with Miss Chelsea Cavanaugh, local country music star, legend, somebody who is growing in notoriety and popularity. Thank you very much, Chelsea, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so you believe me, right?
I absolutely do.
I've been wearing this hat for a long damn time.
Yeah?
Okay, she believes that. That's a good thing. You are a native, you are a local, you are a Schenectady, correct?
I'm from Latham.
You're from Latham.
Close enough.
Okay, fair enough. And you're a senior at Shaker High School?
Yes, I'll be starting my senior year in the
So
fall.
what is the mascot for Shaker High? Is it like little salt and pepper shakers?
No, it's a bison.
It's a bison.
Yeah.
How does that have anything to do with Shakers? I guess if you were riding a
It's a
bison,
blue bison.
you'd be shaking?
You know, that's a good question.
That's
I'm
probably
not
not
exactly
right.
sure the origin of the mascot.
Okay. So, and you are been basically involved in country music for how long?
For about 3 years.
For about 3 years. Okay. So at some point you were in high school, and I always want to talk about this with artists because there's a moment that is, to me, that's transformative. You know, for me as a filmmaker, there was a movie that I saw that I went, that's what I want to do. Was there a song? Was there an artist? Was there a video? Was there something that just made you, it clicked with you, and that was what you decided you wanted to be involved in?
There's actually an artist, Taylor Swift.
Oh,
Yeah, when I
okay.
was in like 5th or 6th grade is when I discovered her, and this was in like 2006.
Okay.
And she was very, very new. She was only like 17, and I got her album because I heard of her, and
Right.
I heard her on
Her
the
first
radio.
record, right?
Yeah, her first record. Heard her on the radio. Begged my mom to take me to FYE and get the album, and I played it like nonstop, like every single day. Listened to this album, and I was like, just became obsessed with it. And
Did you do like the YouTube versions of the songs and stuff like that, where you were singing like I'm singing Taylor Swift
Oh
songs?
yeah, oh totally. And I remember looking at her and where she was at the time.
Right.
And I wanted her to become more popular, which she obviously did.
Right? I've never heard of her. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
because at the time no one knew who she was. Like none of my friends did or anything. And I remember just looking at her and being like, I want to be that when I'm older. I want to do that.
Do you want me to blow your mind now? Are you ready for your little blonde head to just explode?
Yes.
My brother dated Taylor Swift.
Stop.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes, he did.
No.
I lived in Nashville, Tennessee for 15 years. And my brother went to Hendersonville High School, where she went. And he went out with her a couple of times, and he brought her over to see the family. And I remember him coming back and saying, oh, she just played me some songs. I was sitting on her bedroom floor, and she's pretty good.
Stop.
And I saw her she won the Hendersonville Talent Show.
What's your brother's name?
I can't tell you that. He's a married man now. And
No,
none of the songs were about him. None of the breakup songs were about my brother. Isn't that weird?
That's freaky.
See, that's what Nashville is, though. That's what happens. Like, I worked in the bar. I was the sound man at the bar that the redneck woman.
God. Gretchen, yeah.
Thank
That's what
you.
I thought her name was.
Gretchen. Where Gretchen, she was the bartender at the bar that I was sound. So that's what's weird about Nashville is that you kind of run into people.
You run into people. I hear that a lot.
Have you been there
I
yet?
went there in November 2011.
Okay.
And I went to the Country Music Awards.
Oh,
so
what?
There was a lot of.
What are you doing going to this Country Music Awards?
I just went as like a fan, not much as an artist.
But you're thinking one day.
Yeah, but
this could
so
be it.
all the celebrities were in town, but everyone's saying like you can just run into them at the market or like at restaurants, because Nashville's not a very big city. And
No.
they all like live there.
Right. Well,
It's
you got
super cool.
Jack White, Nicole Kidman, and everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody lives there now. So you're entering into this, and now you're kind of going into this pool of artists. And one of the things in country music is that people, who are really, really established, they play at festivals with people who are just up and coming, and that just happened to you. Like this weekend, you were playing with Sheryl Crow.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? I mean, Sheryl Crow is amazing.
She's incredible.
Yeah, and what was it called? Country Fest?
Yep.
Or what was that like? Like, how many people were you playing in front of?
There was like 20,000 people there.
Right. But they all went to go get beer during your songs, right?
Oh, no.
Okay. All right.
I hope not. Yeah, it was Sheryl Crow and Darius Rucker were the main acts.
Right.
And it was awesome.
Hootie!
Yeah. And after I performed, like, I signed autographs for like 3 hours. And
Oh, that's awesome.
It was really fun.
No, and
I got to meet Cheryl and Hootie.
you got to meet Sheryl? Oh, my God. What's
Yeah.
your favorite Sheryl Crow song?
Oh, God. I think either Strong Enough
Right.
or My Favorite Mistake.
Oh, that's a really good one. That's a really good one. I would have to go with Weather Channel, or it's definitely Weather Channel. Anyway, so but you've been writing songs a long time. Like
Yeah.
I've read up on you. You since you were 9 years old.
Yes.
I mean, how exactly does that happen? I mean, are you just like writing poems and
Yeah.
setting them to music? Or?
When I was younger, I talked a lot.
Okay.
I always like to tell
What
stories.
happened? No, that's right.
And I always like to write stories and write poems. I love to rhyme. So I also like to sing. And so I used to sing a lot, like sing in the shower. And
Were you
whatnot.
into pop music at that point?
Yeah, I was into pop, but I was into whatever my mom would play in the car. Like I was
Right.
into some like soft rock and
Right.
whatnot, and a little bit of country. And
What's the appeal of country? Like, was Taylor Swift the one that really introduced you to the world of country, or is it the storytelling? What is it?
Her was more, I loved her storytelling, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I always listened to bits of country. My older sister, she's 10 years older than me, so
Okay.
she was in college when
Right.
I was in like second grade. And when she went to college, she got into country music.
Okay.
So she sort of influenced me as I got older. But yeah, with like songwriting, I just, like I said, I always like to tell stories, so I just
Are your
got into
boyfriends like in school terrified because of the whole Taylor Swift thing?
I
That you're
hope
going to
not.
start doing the same thing
I
and
hope not.
start writing about what bad kissers they are.
I wouldn't do that.
This is a song about how you suck at sucking face or something like that. You can use that if you want. Suck at sucking
I
face.
actually am
It's a
gonna-
huge hit.
I'm gonna take a note on that.
Yeah. So that's not the direction that you're taking.
No, I mean I do actually write a lot of songs about my personal life.
I
and-
wanted,
Yeah.
because I was looking through the album that you so nicely gave to me, all right? And the first song here is called Superstar. And basically, it seems to me not about a song about you being a superstar, but it's a song about some guy who thinks he's all that and he's a superstar.
Yes.
What's the background there?
There's
What's
a lot
his-
of background
What's
there.
his name? Is he a football player?
I'm not
Is he-
saying his name
Oh,
on
come
television.
on. Taylor says his name,
I know,
and
that's the
she's
thing.
on the cover of, everything.
She doesn't like to say people's names anymore, and
Oh,
I
she sure
won't
does.
say anyone's
Oh,
name.
everybody knows his name. John Mayer. All right.
I won't say anyone's name.
Okay. But superstar.
But there is a background on it. It was just a person who I sort of naively looked up to him. Like I thought he was great, and
He wasn't a teacher or anything,
No,
was
he was a
'Cause
no, he was a musician.
The cops will start calling her.
No,
Okay,
he was a musician,
Okay.
so the superstar thing kind of fit because I would see him perform and whatnot. But and then at one point, the whole relationship fell apart, whatever. But I was looking back at it and I was like realizing he wasn't as
The cops are here
That's
about the teacher.
But I was realizing he wasn't as great as I thought he was.
Okay.
Because sometimes when you really like someone or in love with them, you don't really see their bad qualities. You just think they're great. And
Right.
when I looked back on it, I saw all of his bad
Shania Twain
qualities.
said it. That don't impress me
Whatnot.
much.
Yeah.
Exactly. Are you going deeper into the history of country music? Are you like learning more about like older artists and that type of thing?
I like to learn about the history of it. When I first started getting into it, I started just listening to all the artists I could, and then in the beginning of high school, I really started looking at history. I actually wrote a research paper on the history of country music.
Really?
Because we got to choose any topic in school, and I'm like, that would be a perfect opportunity for me to really research it.
Fascinating.
So,
What did you discover in your research that surprised you?
wasn't
It's not all about trucks and dogs.
Yeah, well, that a lot of it was just really interesting because a lot of it obviously originated in Nashville,
Right.
and a lot of it was just like how listening to like the old beginning of country, how it's like differed and whatnot. But it was cool.
I've always loved the fact in country music that it always revolved around a story. You know, there's
Exactly.
You know, and everything's a bit more abstract in pop and rock, which I love too. But it usually is basically almost like somebody sitting around and telling some sort of anecdote about their life.
Yeah, that's what drawed me to country music, because I always loved stories, and I loved hearing people's stories, whether it was a really happy one or extremely depressing one. I always love hearing people's stories, and so that's what drew me to country music, because they always just tell these really great stories, and you can just like really feel like you like get personal with
make
it.
the emotional
Yeah,
connection
with it.
Absolutely. Well, we're definitely going to talk more, but we've also got the band here, right?
Yes.
We've got some guys waiting out there. They're eating Bombers, Mexican food or
That's
something
what they
like
want.
that. Yeah, they're hoping. It's like, can we get this over with so we can get over to Bombers, please? And what song are we going to play for you first?
We are going to play Landslide by the Dixie Chicks.
Oh, well, yes, by the Dixie Chicks, but also by Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac.
Thank
sorry.
you
the
very
Dixie
much.
Chicks version.
Okay, the Dixie Chicks version of Landslide. All right, well, fantastic. And we love you, Natalie Maines, even though country music doesn't seem to anymore. All right, so let's have Chelsea Cavanaugh with Landslide.
In that sun reflection
Well, that was awesome.
Thank you.
See, that's one of the great things about a fantastic song. Smashing Pumpkins do it, Dixie Chicks do it, Chelsea Cavanaugh does it. They make it their own, but it's still just an unbelievable song. Why did you decide to go with that one?
Oh, it's just a great song.
You just
love the lyrics.
Yes.
Just the whole thing.
Yeah, the song it's so interesting and the different ways that you can interpret it.
Yeah, and it's a song that like everybody knows.
Right, right, exactly, exactly. So you wrote almost all the songs on this album.
All of them.
Oh, really? All the songs on the record?
Yes.
How exactly do you? What's your process? Like, let's say you have an experience that happens in your life. First of all, is it have to be something that you feel very, very deeply about, and you think, oh, that would make a great song, or is it more of an observational thing where you're looking at something and take me through the process of a Chelsea Cavanaugh writing session.
Most of my songs I write about my personal life and experiences that I've gone through. So most of my songs I draw from myself. A lot of the times I'll be like in school or I'll just be in random places and I'll just have like an idea hit me and I'll just build off that.
Are you kind of always jotting things down?
I jot a lot. It's great to have an iPhone because you can put it in your notes now.
See, I'm an old man, and we used to have this thing called a pencil,
I know.
and I don't know what an iPhone is, apparently.
Because like, I would always have like paper and whatnot when I first started, and I'd write it, but it'd be super inconvenient if you didn't have paper with you.
Right.
But now you can put it in your notes, and it's great.
Okay, so do you also do the tunes, or?
Yeah, I write, a lot of the times, I write lyrics first, and then I'll go home and put music to it with my guitar. But sometimes I'll write guitar parts first.
Did you know guitar before you started to, or was that something that you learned so that you could develop your songwriting?
I started writing songs before I learned how to play guitar. I started writing songs, when I was 9. I picked up guitar when I was at the end of 7th grade, like 12 going on 13. And it helped with my songwriting. So I didn't learn it just because I liked songwriting. I just always wanted to learn the instrument. But like once I learned it, it was cool to put my lyrics to music. So
I have a background in music myself, and what's interesting is that your songwriting progresses as you learn like sort of more chords.
Yeah, very true.
Things become a little bit more complicated as you get beyond just G, C, D. You could throw a little augmented or something, do something interesting in there.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you get the capo in there. Oh, you gotta love the capo.
The capo's great.
Oh, the capo. The capo is like for
anywhere.
us stupid people who can't play those weird chords. Yes.
Capo's a great invention.
Do you have like a favorite song on the record, the way it turned out?
Oh, I mean, they're all so like different. The last track on the record is one of my favorites, called "Just Leaving." Okay. I just think it sounds really cool. When I wrote it, I just wrote it in school actually. Okay. I think it was like. And what
was the origin of it?
The origin, like background.
Yeah.
I wrote this song basically about how I am afraid of like people leaving and how I want to find someone who will make me believe that not everyone's just going to leave you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So.
We're going to have some like psychological session
personal.
Right here. Okay, getting deep.
Yeah, so I really like the song, and when I wrote it, I didn't picture the orchestration as it is on the album. Okay. They kind of made it cooler. Okay. So I was like, we like changed parts up, and I just think it turned out cool.
You've got fans now, so I'll bet there are people that are like listening to your music and they're like leaving you YouTube videos, which is so interesting because it's for the first time in history there is such a short amount of space between the artist and the fan that they can actually talk to you and you can leave a video back or talk back. And are you finding that they're getting things out of your songs maybe necessarily that you didn't even intend?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes people interpret it like differently, and I think that's cool when people have their own interpretations on songs. Because like as a songwriter, like once it's out there, the meaning to you isn't really anything. Because everyone will make their own.
But you know what I like about you though, Chelsea? I have to tell you, I like the fact that you actually express what the song means. Like I hate, like, honestly, Don Henley of the Eagles, you really, really bother me because I want to know what Hotel California is about. And he's like, oh, he doesn't want to tell me. He doesn't want to tell me. He's like, oh, it's just about, you know, a journey of a discovery. No, I want to know what it's about. And I think that is, even though people are going to interpret things their own way, I think it's important to know what was going through your mind when you do it.
People love knowing
what do you think
songs
Hotel
about.
California is about? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea.
Trying to figure that out. Something about the devil, I think. All right. Anyway. You've got some cool shows coming up.
I do.
You've got something about Liberty.
The Liberty Games.
Okay, what are the Liberty Games?
It's this like sport event in Schenectady. It's like a fundraiser.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're like playing the concert there?
Asked me to be a musical guest, so yeah.
Phenomenal. So you're finding yourself like you're doing radio, you're doing our little dog and pony show here, and then you're doing like a Sheryl Crow concert. How is that? Do you have to adjust, your performance, or?
For certain events we do adjust our performances just because we don't want to be like extremely loud at like a really, really small event.
Right.
Because it might just freak people out. But I usually just treat every crowd like it's 10,000 people, because just like give it the best I can, because that's usually the best way to enjoy a show.
Talk to me about the name of the record, Simply.
It's called Simply.
Right.
That's a track on one of the on the album,
okay.
And I picked that one because I wanted it to be simple. I didn't want this extravagant name, and the album is basically just simply me. It simply just describes myself and how I am, and you can get more personally knowing me. Right. If you listen to the album.
Do you feel that there's too many complicated ideas out there, and there's too much just craziness, and you wanted something that was a little bit more distilled?
I think so. I just really, wanted something simple, and I wanted it to be something people could relate to and whatnot. Now,
you're not in Nashville. You're not even in North Carolina. You're in New York. Yeah. And it's not necessary. I didn't even know there really was a country music scene up here.
Amazingly, there is.
Okay.
There is a big country music scene. Most people don't realize it because most people tell me from New York, they're like, oh, New York City. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. It's like there is another New York.
There is more to New York than
right.
the city. But the whole upstate area, there's actually a lot of farms that go up really far, and a lot of country people.
I shot a film in Castleton, which is literally 10 minutes away from Albany, and it feels like you're in the middle of Iowa. I mean, it's like it is so separated from a large city like that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of places like that near Albany.
Right.
And you don't realize it, and then they all come to these shows, and there's so many country fans, surprisingly, in the area. Excellent.
I think that you're doing amazing things. I mean, you just were, you've been doing TV, you're doing radio. Does it feel overwhelming to you? Does it feel like, wow, this is a lot at one time?
No, I mean, sometimes it gets really busy, and I get a little overwhelmed because I have to balance my personal life with friends and family, and during the school year it's school too. But
are your friends a little starstruck? Are they trying to get? Are they trying to get you to give me Eric Church's autograph?
I've had them try that.
Okay,
but,
okay, yeah.
No, they're just funny about it, and they're really supportive.
Oh yeah, you also Trace Adkins.
Yeah, I did Taste of Country Music Festival.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, you should talk to him about changing his political views. But that's just my opinion.
Cool stuff like that.
That is so amazing. You're just rubbing shoulders with the big boys, hopefully to
I feel
making
so
yourself
cool.
a big girl. Oh, really?
I'll be like, oh, hey, at Country Fest, Darius Rucker was just walking around backstage, and I'd pass him to go get food, and I'd be like, hey Darius.
You purposely
oh, of course,
moving around.
Of course, go around.
Yeah,
I'd be I just walk by, I'm like,
hey, do you just go by him, but don't look, and just go, hootie. Wait, it's my phone, and my phone is saying this interview is over. So listen, I want to thank you so much, Chelsea, for coming in. This was so much fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You're adorable.
You're adorable.
Oh gosh, I know. And where can people get your album? I'm sure you've got a website, right?
Yes, you can go to chelseasongs.com. My Facebook page is Chelsea Cavanaugh Music. You can order my album.
Don't stalk her. All right, stop.
It's my fan page.
Stop doing it. It's her fan page. Don't stalk her.
You can order my album through there, through the store. You can get my album at shows. It'll be on iTunes really soon. So yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Check
And
it out.
what about radio? Are we starting to kind of eke it out there and get it on the country radio?
Yes, we are. We're trying.
Fantastic. I guarantee you, within 6 months, you will not take my calls anymore. I guarantee it. This is the moment right now. And I better get everything I have to say to this girl, right now, because she is going to have no interest in anybody like me, because she's going to be so huge. Oh, here we go. Well, I'm on the phone. I'm on an interview right now. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. We're just doing this. If you ever have your own interview show, make sure you turn off your phone before you go ahead and interview someone like Chelsea Cavanaugh. Thanks so much for checking out another segment of the show. Thank you, Chelsea, for being with us. Go out and check country music. Give it a chance. I think you'll like it.
Proctor's, bringing the best in arts, education, and entertainment.